Hello, hope everybody's doing fine today. Today I'd like to show you my 1970 scrapbook from the solo Beatles. Sort of a follow-on from one of my other videos I did. I did a 1960 scrapbook, so this one is a 1970. Starting off with the bad news of Paul starting high court proceedings to end the Beatles partnership. And then further articles on Paul. Paul on his own, or is he? I was just going through all the information about the court case and what have you. And then we've got more articles about the split. On a lighter note, we've got a review of George Harrison's first album, All Things Must Pass. Excellent album. One of the best. Certainly in the top 5, I would think, of Beatles solo albums. Excellent. And then we've got It's Open Warfare. It isn't coincidence that these solo singles have just been released, says Alan Smith. Because all 4 Beatles have got a single at roughly the same time. Paul, these are the actual reviews of the singles. Paul, we've got Another Day. Power to the People from John. And It Don't Come Easy from Ringo. Plus George Harrison's My Sweet Lord, which he actually ended up being sued on that one because it sounded a little bit like He's So Fine from the Chiffons. And I've also got a review of John Lennon's Plastic Ono Band album, John's first album. Again, this is one of the best in the top 5, I think, of Beatles solo albums. I've put this one at the top in actual fact. It's either number 1 or number 2, definitely. Paul's in another dispute. This time it's about the songwriting credits for Another Day, which he credited Linda as a co-writer. And the publishers are disputing the fact that could she actually write with Paul. So, and then we've got an interview with George Martin. Beatles record again. The odds are much against it, says George. Yep, he was right there. There he is with Cilla Black. George there. That's a nice picture. There's another one of John Yoko there. And we've got the new Beatle. John, George, Ringo, and now comes Klaus. Yeah, there were some rumours that the Beatles were going to reform with Klaus Voormann playing the bass instead of Paul. Klaus did end up playing with the solo Beatles, but never as a band. Can't really replace Paul, so it turned out to be not true. And we've got, even if you can't sing for peanuts, good to see Ringo as having a go. Very patronising there. It don't come easy. We're talking about there. And there's the man himself. And we might play again, says John. But not under the name of the Beatles. That would have been okay, really. Come back in some form, but not necessarily as they were before. And we've got an article there. No appeal against the trial to dissolve the Beatles. Then we've got Paul McCartney, his new LP is Sweaty Rock. Sort of a bit of a preview for Paul's album Ram. I don't know whether to call that Sweaty Rock or not, but maybe, maybe not. Some tracks, yeah. And this is the actual review of Ram from the New Musical Express. They weren't very happy with this album. Give it a bad review, which the NME tended to do after this point. I think everything Paul did was they were never fond of what Paul was up to. If you go over to this page, we've got a review from Disc and Music Echo. It's diabolical. No, it's brilliant. Which it was. Fantastic. In the top 5, 100%. Nice drawing of Paul there. And we've got these articles now coming through in the 70s, early 70s RIP. The Final Chop, doing their own thing. Little list of all their achievements so far as a solo artist. Paul just got the album and the single at the time. And just various articles there. Another Ringo movie. George and Ringo on stage again, which is Bangladesh. New George single, that would have been the Bangladesh single. Okay, we can end on this page now. It's John doing the rounds for publicity, and he's talking about his forthcoming album, which was Imagine. He knows it, I know it, the next Lennon album is the greatest, said Alan Smith. This is from July 71. Of course, Imagine, that's another top drawer album from John. Probably not as good as his first album, but possibly in the top 5, 6, definitely. Especially with George being on that album. George played stunning guitar on Give Me Some Truth, and also How Do You Sleep. So possibly, I don't know, it could be number 3, could be number 4. It's definitely up there in the top 5, I would think now. Yeah, it's in the top 5. Yeah, it's got to be. Okay then, so that's the end of my 1970 to 1971 solo Beatles scrapbook. Say it follows on from the 60s one, one of my previous videos, so I'm going to check that one out, and hope you've enjoyed this little blast from the past, and we'll speak to you all very soon. Take care. Bye bye.